Hey everybody, Little Mo Gaming here. Welcome back to another episode of A Little Mo Gaming at Lunch. Happy Sunday. I'm actually recording it this morning on Sunday, so no, it's not lunchtime right now, but I'll probably release this at lunchtime. Didn't release it on Friday. I had some stuff going on Thursday night. Wasn't really able to make a video that night, and I haven't really been uploading as consistently as I'd like to, and I think that's just because there's a lot of stuff that I've been having to deal with lately, just things that we're trying to take care of, so it's got us busy. It's good stuff, hopefully stuff leads to good news, but right now I want to take a moment to sit down this morning. I actually just woke up not too long ago, so excuse if I sound a little like my voice is off because I just woke up and I'm also a little bit sick, so yeah. But I hope everybody's been having a great weekend. It's been a pretty chill and relaxing weekend. I've been playing some KCD here and there, as well as playing my PSP. I pulled it out the other day, charged it up, and just a couple games I've been playing on there. I've been playing some Wipeout Pure, which has been really fun. It's actually a pretty solid version of Wipeout. I had Wipeout, the Omega Collection, on my PS5 through the PS Plus download, but as I said in my last video, I no longer have PS Plus, at least for now. So I wanted to play a little bit of Wipeout. And I had Wipeout Pure for PSP, like in my collection. I already had it. I just hadn't opened it. I think I found it like at some game store not too long ago, and it was like sealed, brand new, everything for like $10 or something like that. So I went ahead and pulled it out, and I'm like, let me try this out. It's been fun. I also been playing Luminous on there. So Luminous, if you don't know, is like this Tetris-like puzzle game. It came out back in the day on PSP. At least I think that the first one was on PSP. And then the newest edition just came out. So I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and play the old one on my PSP. And that's been really cool. Fun little puzzle game, play it for like 10-minute bursts at a time, something like that. That's the thing about the PSP, is that it's a fun little handheld that you could just take out, play for like 10 or 15 minutes. But I have to say, like, with modern handheld technology, I feel that we've kind of been spoiled with the new technology, right? Like the ability to suspend a game, to put down your handheld and go do something else without having to worry about losing your progress. That's something on the Switch that's absolutely fantastic, and I'm sure Steam Deck and ROG Ally, whatever, has similar features. So when you go back to something like the PSP, which was ahead of its time at the time, it almost feels a little archaic in the fact that, like, there's really no way to suspend your game. Like, if you're playing the game, you're at the mercy of the loading screens, which are a lot slower. And then if you're like in the game and you need to put down the handheld, you can pause it. And the PSP has like a locked mode where you can like push the power button down and it'll lock in place. I think that's like in case you need to get up and you don't want anything to move or change on the screen, but it's not really a suspend, so you're still locked to it. So it's not an easy handheld to just pull out, like, say if you're in a situation like where you might have to get up at any minute, right? You'd have to be playing a game where, like, you don't care if you shut it down right away, right? Like, you can't be playing something like Final Fantasy on the PSP if you only have like a 10-minute window, because it takes almost 10 minutes to get into the game. And then you gotta get up, and now there's no way to save it. You didn't, if you got any progress made at all. But yeah, it's been fun. It's a nice little handheld. I do like it. It's definitely a nostalgia thing, because I had a PSP when I was a kid, and it was a big part of that era of my life, as far as it being like an all-in-one media device. with the access it had to the internet, YouTube, and those are the old days of YouTube, the golden days is what a lot of people say. I remember like trying to find ways to save all of these videos and movies and stuff to it, and being able to access Facebook. Well, actually, I think at the time it might have been MySpace on the PSP. It was a pretty big deal. It was pretty cool. But yeah, definitely a cool little handheld. And yeah, so the big news, of course, that I want to talk about today is Steam's new product that they just surprise dropped on us this week, the Steam Machine, and just kind of how I feel about that. So back in like 2013, I think they tried this Steam Machine thing, and I remember there was like maybe 5 or 6 different iterations at different power levels. I don't know if it was actually officially released to the public. I do remember vividly hearing about it and seeing the images. I think they even like sent these products to certain people in the press, right? Like people who reviewed tech and all that kind of stuff. I don't remember if it was released to the public, but I remember looking at it and thinking it was pretty cool. Like this, it's like a console for Steam, right? Where essentially they're just little mini PCs. And I think that's where all consoles are anyways now. Like they're all just mini PCs. But this Steam Machine that we're getting now is like an official, like box that you can put on your desk next to the TV, next to a monitor. And it's like a dedicated console for Steam, for PC. And it gives you access to other aspects of PC as well. So the possibilities are endless there, right? And I think, like, in my opinion, excuse me, a sip of water. Yeah, I think in my opinion, it's pretty great. I didn't really do a deep dive on, myself on the specs or anything, but what a lot of people are saying is that based on the specs that were released, it is technically, I think, below a PS5, like a base PS5 in terms of power. Probably closer, they're saying, to like an Xbox Series S. And when I think about it, I've talked about this before as far as, Steam and what Steam means to me, right? Because I used to have a PC. I used to have a gaming PC that I custom built. And this was around the time of, I want to say it was like 2014 to 2016 was the time, the era, that I used it the most. Probably into 2017, I don't know. And yeah, I had access to Steam, Origin, all these, PC apps and PC games. And I did buy a lot of games on Steam that I still have in my Steam collection that I just don't have access to. Games that I have played, games that I haven't played, games that I would love to play again. And not necessarily, to the point where like I have to go get some sort of access to Steam right now. That's why I don't have a Steam Deck or a PC handheld. Otherwise, I totally would, because that's also a pretty viable way to access those games in a cool way. The Steam Machine really seems like a great product for those who are looking for like that console experience and being able to access Steam library and games that are exclusive to Microsoft or Xbox, because of course you can play those on PC. And there's also the potential to be able to play PlayStation games as they come to PC. So like for me personally, I think there is a world where something like the Steam Machine would be actually like a really good product for me, but not in the near future, so it's one of those things like, I don't know when it's supposed to come out. I don't even know what the price point is going to be. A lot of people predict it's probably going to be between $400 to $500 just because of the specs. But if that is the case, I mean, it really is a great machine because, like, for example, the games that I have on Steam that I want to play, they're older games. Like I haven't downloaded or bought any games on Steam that have come out past like the PS4 era. So like anything that's considered like a modern game, that is built for the PS5 or the Xbox Series X or like modern hardware, that's not anything that I own on Steam. It's not something that I would buy on Steam either. Like I have this PS5 Pro that I was able to acquire. I want to put it to use. So when it comes to the big modern stuff, right? And when I say big modern stuff, I'm talking about, you know, Assassin's Creed Shadows, right? Just as an example, or Alan Wake 2, you know, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I mean, heck, even Kingdom Come Deliverance would probably look great on a Steam machine, because it is a graphically beautiful game, but it's not like, I don't think it's a powerhouse of a game. I could be wrong. I mean, it runs perfectly well on PS5 and it looks great, and I'm sure it looks even better on PC. But you know, like those big graphically intensive games, you know, like the next Cyberpunk game, the next Witcher, Elder Scrolls 6. I know that's kind of an oxymoron there about it being like a graphical powerhouse, because I think they're building it on the same engine as Starfield, essentially, just with a little more tweaks. So that's probably playable on anything, honestly, let's be real. But yeah, like I'd probably stick to my modern hardware that I have, you know. But when it comes to, you know, accessing my Steam library and being able to download older games, right, retro games, games from the PS4 era, from the PS3 era, you know, like Halo Master Chief Collection, I've been really itching to play. And right now I have a way to play it. So I'm going to Houston in a couple weeks. I'm going to be visiting for Thanksgiving. And one of my plans is to bring back, because I have an Xbox One over there, and I have the Master Chief Collection. Like, I bought it back in the day when I had my Xbox One. And it's just kind of sitting collecting dust. So I'm thinking of bringing it back. I said that I didn't want to do this before, but you know, I realized, like, if I want to play Halo, there is a way for me to play Halo. I could just bring my Xbox One, bring my copy of Master Chief Collection, plug it in, play Halo for as long as I want, and then when I'm done, put it away. So I'm probably going to do that. But yeah, the Steam machine would be like another option, right? It's like, okay, well, here's this small machine that's relatively affordable. You have access to your Steam library. You also have access to games like Halo, because they're available on PC. And people talk about emulators, you know, like I know there's this emulator, this great emulator that I've heard about that would be awesome to have access to. It's called PCX2. It's basically a PS2 emulator. You can play like all PS2 games on there, and it works great. But like the possibilities are endless, right? It's this $400, $500 box, allegedly. We don't know yet. For all we know, it could be $700 or $800, and that would be pretty crazy. But I don't think that's going to be the case. I think that Valve is really going to come out and try to compete and like really, because if they release this product, if it's $400 or 500 even, I mean, 500 is a lot, but you know, it's like, you know, it's reasonably priced essentially with the way the prices are going. But if it comes out, it's like $400, dude, it's over. Like, no one's going to buy an Xbox anymore. People who want to buy a PlayStation are going to buy a PlayStation, and I still will see value in a PlayStation because it's just that ecosystem. But yeah, like if somebody's just trying to look for an affordable console to play some games on, that's going to be perfect. So like for me personally, it's not something that I'd buy right away. It's definitely something I keep an eye on. I think it's pretty cool. And it's also cool that there's like a faceplate on there apparently that you can switch out for like electrical plates that have like little digital screens on it that can show like, you know, your download progress for the game, or it can show like what your specs are currently and how it's running. Pretty cool stuff. I mean, it's pretty sweet. But I don't know. That's kind of my opinion on the Steam machine. Something to keep an eye on. Definitely a cool announcement from Valve. Hopefully, once they announce the pricing and the release date, you know, hopefully the pricing is pretty reasonable and competitive, because I really think that would be great for, you know, consumers in general who are, because honestly, getting into gaming right now, it's not the most affordable hobby anymore. Like, it really has gotten expensive, and there are ways to get into the hobby for cheap, but not easy ways, right? I mean, you could always build like a cheap PC. You can use like used parts, you know, things like that, and get into PC gaming where you can buy games for $1. But that, you know, a lot of people just want to go buy a console, plug it in, and play. And I think the Steam machine, if it comes out at a reasonable price point, like $400 to $500, it's going to be pretty attractive. You know, especially with PlayStation right now going up the way that they are. I mean, forget about the PS5 Pro, right? I mean, the PS5 Pro is like the PS5 Pro is like the high-end item, right? It's like the expensive PlayStation, the one that can outrun all the other consoles. That's almost $800 right now with the price increases. Forget about that. Even the base PS5 is like almost $600, I think. I don't know the actual price points, but it's gone up. And Xbox has gone up, and the prices of games, on those consoles has gone up. I mean, you want to buy a brand new game, you're minimum paying $75, unless they release it at $50. That's a reasonable price, Expedition 33, Mafia of the Old Country, great examples of brand new games this year that are possible Game of the Year contenders. They came out for $50. But then you have games like Ghost of Yotei, right? One of the biggest games for PS5 right now. And, one of the hottest games out there for PS5. That's $70. With taxes, you're going to pay like almost $80 to play that game. Unless you can find it used for a lot cheaper, which right now I think it's still early to do that. But yeah, it's a crazy market. And I think with something like the Steam Machine being priced affordably, if it's cheaper than these consoles, the access that you have to games is significantly more vast, cheaper, with Steam deals. Like literally you can buy the biggest games for like $4 or $5. And, there's ways to get keys for games on different websites in, legal ways, for really cheap. So it's definitely going to be a competitive console. Hopefully they're smart and they price it accordingly, and it'll be a very consumer friendly thing. It'll be good for Valve as well, like to bring in more revenue. And I'm sure Valve is bringing in tons of revenue, with Steam and all that. But with rumors of like Half-Life 3 around the corner, right? It'd be great to see Valve, getting some more success out there and getting this game into more people's hands, and being able to give us more games as well, because they make good games. We just haven't really seen anything from them in a long time, unless you played Half-Life Alyx on VR, which I've heard is amazing, but it's limited to PC VR. I have PSVR 2. No, I don't have access to Half-Life Alyx, and I could if I had like a gaming PC, but that's besides the point. The point is, we want to see more games from Valve. We want to see the Steam Machine do good. Hopefully it does. It sounds like a good idea. Definitely something I'll keep an eye on. But yeah, just wanted to come out here this morning and put my 2 cents out there, and hope you've been enjoying the gameplay in this video. I didn't really explain what we were showing here, but there's been some footage of KCD2, some more footage of Resident Evil from my playthrough of that, Gears of War, and I think I'm going to be putting a couple of retro games on here from the Genesis collection. So there's I think it's called Shadow Dancer, which is a really fun like little ninja game from the Genesis, and then also it's called Gunstar Heroes, really fun, like side-scrolling shooter on the Genesis. So yeah, hope you enjoyed watching this video, and let me know in the comments, what do you think about the Steam Machine? Is that something that you're going to be getting or kind of keeping an eye on? Love to hear what you had to say on that, and as always, take care.
You acted with chivalry, Master Menhart, but intervening in a duel is a breach of the rules. There is no choice but to disqualify you from the tourney.